In association with Official Wrestling comes A Few Good Marks podcast. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to A Few Good Marks. I am your host, Kieran, and I'm joined by Alex.
Hiya.
Pete.
What up?
Candy.
Oh.
And Willow. I'm running out of different ways to do that now. Stop it! We did this gimmick last time! Willow, 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 Willow. So Willow's here, everybody. Oh, fuck's sake. Right, today we are doing historic moments, which was essentially just a way for us to talk about what our first topic mat's going to be. We'll get on to that in a second. But essentially it's, we're just talking about history-defining moments in professional wrestling. So, Alex, do you want to start us off?
The Montreal Screwjob. I have waited far too long to talk about this. Was it a shoot? Was it a work?
We sort of touched on this in our...
Will we ever know? We will never know the answer. Why have they taken the part off the WWE Network where Bret Hart spits at Vince McMahon? Why is that off there when you watch Survivor Series 97? Why? These are questions that remain unanswered. Vince McMahon turned heel off this. So does that suggest that it was just... he played on this? Does that suggest to me that it was a work? Because if that was real, you would not play off that. But then if it was real, then, would he really have spat at him? Because I don't think Vince McMahon would ever let anyone spit on him. But then why did he come back if it wasn't real? I would never come back no matter what the money was. Oh, so many questions. My head hurts.
I think, that could partly be due to the concussion.
Right, so that was good. Second point.
And second point.
I think it's all because they're lizard men and they're part of the Illuminati.
Oh my god, I have actually heard this about people being lizards.
Pete Price.
Yeah.
No, I think...
Wasn't there a sign at WrestleMania last year?
Yeah. It's like someone
There's a
tries
picture
to
of Hulk
every year.
Hogan with this guy with a Pete Price and the lizard sign.
No, I think it's all valid things, but I think it was a work. But Vince is just that clever that he knew people are going to hate me for this. I'm going to make money off it. You use Eric Bischoff's mantra against him. Controversy creates cash, and that's what he did. It was a slow building storyline, which is what they did with it, and just made Vince McMahon the top heel of his own company. And it worked.
But when you watch the interviews of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels after it happened, they make it look like it was a shoot, and it has been said that it is legitimate. Do you know?
I think it was a shoot.
I think so.
I think in my heart of hearts I do, but then I think that
I don't think Bret.
Why would
you
you
can
go back?
tell
Time heals all wounds.
from exactly.
I was watching actually
13 years or 15 years
in his
later
Hall
they
of
went back.
Fame induction speech. Brett said I said to myself that day if they do ever ask me to do the Hall of Fame, I said then yes, into myself I would come back for that, and that's when he came back. So he came back for the Hall of Fame, and obviously
Vince is a very sweet talker.
Yeah, with that, splashing that cash.
Dollar.
So I think, if he said to himself, I'll come back if they ever ask me to do the Hall of Fame, I'll come back, and he did.
And the reason it could have been taken off the spitting part could have been taken off the network is purely Vince didn't want people seeing that.
the fact that why was Vince? Because I can't really remember what the story was going into this. Because why was Vince at ringside for this match?
To make sure that it happened.
So then surely at that point...
He was also a commentator at the time anyway, wasn't he?
He was a commentator.
Yeah, but he was just at ringside and he was pacing down and you can see he looks nervous.
Yeah, because he didn't know, because Bret could have fucking jumped down straight out of the ring and throttled him. I think Bret in the situation, handled it in front of the fans incredibly well. Can you imagine? You've just been screwed.
Vince and writing WCW in the air.
He could have jumped down. Yeah, but he could have jumped down and battered Vince there and then. Do you know what I mean?
He probably had some restraints, but he did batter everything else.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you know, he did like trash up everything else, but I mean, you know,
Plus, it looks worse on Brett if he's gonna go down there and attack Vince.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
And
to
even
wrestle.
and even then, like backstage, like they got into the room and Vince just said, "You've got one shot on me. I'm sorry, you've got one shot on my face." And you know,
No, it didn't. It didn't work quite like that.
Was it not?
No.
No, Vince was surrounded
Yeah,
by
like-
loads of security.
Vince went in there with like Slaughter, Patterson, Briscoe, and some of the
shit.
boys, and Brett told him, "Get out or I'll punch you," and he didn't leave.
No, he said, I'm going for a shower if you're still here when I get back.
I'll punch you.
Oh, fair enough.
And he was still there.
And so he whacked him.
He said, "I'm gonna punch you," and he did.
Fair enough.
So he legitimately punched him?
Yeah.
People were saying, like,
Slaughter and Patterson like had to drag Vince out of the room because he was unconscious.
Oh, I didn't know this
Yeah.
part. This is juicy.
Load of people threatened to walk out, didn't they?
I remember
A few
that.
people
Rick Rude did.
Like-
Rick Rude did.
Did Mick Foley actually?
Mick Foley nearly did. Anvil did. Owen nearly did.
R.I.P. Anvil.
R.I.P. Anvil.
Let's send out praise.
Thoughts and prayers. I'm trying to think who else. A few other people left, but I think Brett turned around to them and said, like, you know, the beef between me and Vince. If you want to stay, you know, stay because, you know, the money's probably all right for you there. You've got a job. Don't walk out on it.
Yeah, I think that's what he said to Owen, because when we reviewed WrestleMania 14, we were like, it's a bit weird that Owen's still at the company, but yeah.
Yeah.
Owen did
You've
say,
got families.
I'll leave for WCW,
You've got
and he's like,
families to
He
feed.
probably, you know, should have left, given what happened to him, but
Yeah.
he wasn't to know. No one was to know, really.
But there we go.
Is there ever a video? Because I've tried looking at it recently and I know I've seen it at some point in my life, but I can't find it for the fucking life of me. Where is that video where they're backstage after it's happened? And Shawn Michaels is like surrounded by security and he doesn't even want to hold the title and he's like, I don't even know what to say.
Is it Wrestling with Shadows? Is it going to be that?
It might be Wrestling with
Is
Shadows.
that
Yeah.
the Brett's documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
I watched Heart and Soul the other day and I don't think it was on that, but they did show him spitting at Vince. And then right in WCW.
That was on the. Didn't they show him spitting at Vince on the Monday Night Wars documentary?
Yeah,
They
showed
did
it loads of
network
times,
as
yeah.
well,
Yeah. So it is a bit weird that they
So
took
it's
it out.
there, but it is weird that they took
You know
it.
why? Actually, you know why it might be out of there? Because their DVD rips that are on the network. So they probably took it out of the DVD
Yeah.
when it came out not long after.
Yeah. So then, obviously, at that time,
Mm.
they wouldn't have wanted anyone to have seen that. You know what I mean? Because it's degrading to Vince, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
And obviously, Vince isn't going to bury himself like that.
it is
Being
heavy.
spat at, being disrespected like that. But it is incredibly heavy, and it's probably the shadiest thing that will ever happen, shoot-wise, in
Especially on a big company like that.
yeah, without doubt.
But the thing is, like, Brett was still with the company, like, for, like, another, like, month or so, I think. Before he went to WCW. He didn't leave then.
That's heavy.
He was just, you know, he didn't... He was, I think it was a month, maybe it was, like, 2
No,
weeks.
he was going to WCW the following night.
Yeah, I'm
But,
pretty sure.
but
He couldn't.
Vince didn't want him taking the title to WCW, but what he said was, what Brett said was, he said, I don't want to lose the title in my hometown.
He couldn't have gone to... He couldn't have gone to...
Like, yeah, like them two had
WCW.
genuine beef or something,
Oh, they
didn't
hate each other.
Absolutely.
yeah, it wouldn't have been WCW the next night, because he said he would drop it a few nights later.
Why
to go
did
back
they
to the
hate
States.
each other?
Well, just everything.
They had a
Because
clash of
Sean's a
personalities.
At first it was just competitive, just I want to be better, but then obviously it all got personal, and then like they accused each other of having affairs and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
Sean
obviously
Sean
Sean
accused him of
was a prick.
having. You've
Sleeping with
had
Sonny.
some sunny days recently, and Brett's like entire family got on him about it.
Oh my god.
So Sean caused major fucking beef.
But, like, Brett made it no secret that he wasn't happy with the way WWF was going. Like, they showed a lot of this in Heart and... I think it's called Heart and Soul. The whole Hart family documentary, it's on the network. But basically there's interviews with Brett, like, saying, I'm not happy with the way WWF's going. I've given me 30 days notice to Vince to make my mind up as to which way I'm going to go. But I think I'm going to go to WCW. Like, he made this perfectly clear. But he couldn't go to WCW the next night because he had like a 30-day non-compete on his contract. So even if he had, retained the title, he could have dropped it the next night on Raw because he was still under contract to do so.
So why didn't they just do it the next night on Raw?
Because I think Vince didn't think he would. I think Vince obviously got it in his
Vince
head.
needed to make a decision,
Yeah.
and he made that decision to do what they did. It's like, we just need to.
But
get
if
the
them
belt.
two hated each other that much, why would... Did they plan their own matches at this point? And I thought that they didn't get creative writers telling you what to do.
They probably would have. I would imagine the way it would have gone down is they'd have planned it, and so Shawn would have said, let's do a spot where I put you in the sharpshooter because that's going to get heat from the fans, and then you'll break out of it or reverse it into the sharpshooter.
It was meant to be a DQ finish originally,
or something.
Someone was meant to interfere.
Yeah, at
like
that point.
Foundation or something. I think.
So at which point Shawn probably would have gone, we're going to do this, and Vince gone, right, when you put him in that sharpshooter, Earl, you signal for the bell.
Imagine the referee.
Oh, Earl Hebner
was
fucking bolted.
Earl Hebner was the real criminal in all this because he was like a best mates with Bret, and he told him like, if anything goes down, I'm not going to let it go down. I think Bret had suspicions.
What?
Yeah, he said to Bret like, I'm not going to let anything.
Swore on his family, didn't he?
Yeah, he swore on his family and all this, and then just fucking never spoke to him again. He ran out of the building.
He must have been paid a lot of
Earl
money.
Hebner was a cunt in that situation.
Earl Hebner was a knob anyway. Got fired from selling knockoff bootleg merch from his boot. His car that he'd stolen. One knob. But yeah, that's the screw job. Is that all we've got to say on?
Not even
that?
the first screw job either in WWE.
No, the
Fabulous
Black
Moolah
Spider.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
The which one?
The Fabulous Moolah one with Randy Richter.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, when she came dressed in the mask.
The Spider Lady.
As
Yeah.
the Spider-Woman, yeah. And then, oh my god. Discuss that more, because I don't remember all that. I just remember it being in the thingy. And then that's why Fabulous Moolah had so much heat on it. Like, everyone hated her. She was horrible. She was a horrible woman.
Well, that's why they
I think the Black Spider one, I can't remember the exact details of it, but as far as I know, Wendy wanted more money because I'm the women's champion, blah blah blah, and Vince was like, no. So she was like, right, I'm gonna leave then and take your belt with me, because back in the day they owned the belts. And Vince was like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I have one more match and it'll be a job match and you can go out, if you want to. And it was Fabulous Moolah, and boom, 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 screw job, finish.
Sucks. But there we go. I've got three of these historic moments down. So, how many other people got?
I've got one.
I've got a bunch, but I'll talk about one.
Okay, and you got one. Oh, since I've got three, I'll bring up one next. Mine's actually maybe not, because since I've got three, then I can go through and pick out. So Candy,
Yes.
go.
Right. 18 months before the screw job. It was a May evening in Madison Square Garden.
I know what you're going for.
Okay, go on.
Shawn Michaels had just faced Kevin Nash in a cage match, and at the match end, Paul Levesque, Triple H, and Razor Ramon both enter the ring. They hug it out because Nash and Scott Hall are off to WCW, and it's the curtain call, the Madison Square Garden incident.
The curtain call.
Which was the first major breaking of kayfabe in wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's also unintentionally, because later on Triple H was meant to win King of the Ring that year.
Yeah.
He got removed. He was being punished. You can't punish Scott Hall and Kevin Nash because they're up to WCW. Can't punish Shawn Michaels because he's the champ.
Yep.
Triple H, I'm afraid you're not winning King of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Austin, you're in his place.
Of course.
Steve Austin wins King of the Ring, delivers the 316 promo,
and goes on to glory.
The wrestling boom begins. All because of this night in Madison Square Garden.
That's amazing. Yeah, I have to agree, and especially that, and also, not even just because it kicked off, like that was the catalyst to start the Attitude Era when you think of it all, but also with the kayfabe aspect of it, people were like, this was the first time you saw heels and faces in the ring hugging it out and just being like, this is, fine. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine? I can't pinpoint a moment where I went, oh yeah, I know this is work now. But can you imagine, especially in, when was it,
96.
96, to have been sat there and just like gone, oh my god, this is, you know what I mean? Like, everything you've known has been a lie, and you just want to know more at that point. Like, it's amazing.
I was reading about it before we started the podcast, and it was a house show, so it wasn't recorded or anything.
But there was one fan.
One person got a recorder through, and they took pictures and sent them off to
There was one fan.
the magazines.
There was one fan in 1996. There was one fan who had a video camera.
And he got pictures of them all
snuck it
in the cage.
And he got it in. There's footage of it, and in the Monday Night Wars documentary series as well. They managed to find the footage and put it on.
So what? And that one fan just leaked it.
Yeah. Sent it to everyone.
Because they weren't filming, it was a house show.
Why does that matter?
Because
It was a
otherwise,
house show and no one records it, no one's
this-
gonna see it.
and nobody else would have seen it. In Madison Square Gardens, people have been like, we think this has happened. We've had some reports of this happening, but you have video proof that this has happened.
Right.
And so it was like, and then everybody started to see this tape, and everyone was like, whoa, this is like massive kayfabe breaker. The kayfabe breaker.
I also read that Triple H he took his punishment, and I put nobody really liked him because he was in the clique. No one likes the clique.
No.
But because Triple H took his punishment, apparently a lot of people in the back were like, okay, he earned the respect of people, and as a result, his punishment lasted 5 months. He was given the IC title. Next thing you know, he's 14-time world heavyweight champion
And the COO.
and the COO. But yeah, in a way, if this had never happened, we might never have had the Attitude Era.
Yeah, I think that's the main talking point here.
It's a huge what if
I'm gonna watch it.
of the wrestling
absolutely.
business.
I've got it on right now.
Go on. Because you can just hear, you can genuinely hear it in the voices as well.
Triple H was punished.
Yep.
But they had the face. Congratulate the face first.
Yeah, because they couldn't punish Shawn Michaels because he was the champ at the time.
And Kevin Nash.
Yeah,
And,
Kevin Nash and Scar were leaving, and I think 1-2-3 Kid was leaving as well.
No, he wasn't involved in it.
Oh, was he not?
He was in rehab
No,
and
right.
missed the entire thing
but he left for WWE.
because he
not
said
long
if he
after
wasn't in
anyway.
rehab, he would have been at Madison Square Garden that night and would have gone and joined them.
Amazing.
He used that a lot.
Well, it's
Amazing.
It's just become a running gag since
Reminds me of that
pointed
Sean Pegg film, Simon Pegg film.
Sean Pegg.
Yeah, good call. That is definitely up there. Pete.
Vince-
Go on.
Vince buys WCW and
Oh yeah.
shapes the American wrestling landscape as we know it. It's essentially the last time WWE has ever had any real competition.
I agree.
Because since then, TNA hasn't come close,
No.
Ring of Honor hasn't come close. New Japan, while now pretty much I'd say the second biggest promotion at the minute,
They're on 2 different leagues.
It's
though.
still
You
a
can't
distant
Yeah.
second.
They're
You can't-
very far
but
away.
they're
Yeah.
still nowhere near.
Yeah.
You can't compare stuff like that, though, can you?
Yeah,
Because they're
no.
just in leagues of their own.
Yeah.
WWE is in a league of its own. WCW was the one that was actually we're in your league now. You know what I mean? You know, when Leicester just won the Premier League, friggin'
Yeah.
that was WCW.
So
Yeah.
with the whole idea as well, your competition is what drives you to be better.
Yeah.
Now that Vince essentially killed off all this competition,
And keeps
ECW
buying, and has now, and it's actually quite clever what NXT do as well.
Yeah.
Because NXT and WWE will just buy the best of indie talent and have it. Although but I think that's the glorious thing about New Japan is that there is this escape for other talent. The on the Instagram stories now, and you can do questioning and stuff like that, question time and shit like that. And Marty Scurll was asked is your end goal to be in WWE? And it was a picture of him holding and he put a picture of him holding the junior heavyweight title, and it is my goal is always to be happy and successful. And it's what more do you
It's
want?
like even last night when Takeover was on.
Kenny Omega tweeting.
Kenny Omega tweeted
Yeah.
saying, please, everyone, I just want them to do well. Like, some of my friends are there, blah, blah, blah. Can you stop tweeting me every time Takeover's on? And then the Young Bucks tweeting back saying, they do this to you too. Like, people like them, they don't need to be in WWE anymore, but they're still trying to buy them out. Like, the amount of times that every time the Young Bucks are in Orlando, Vince is on them,
Oh, I can imagine. Because the moment that you take away all of those... the moment that you take away all of the talent from anywhere else, nowhere's got anywhere to go on. That's why he's jumped on the UK scene, because we've got the best talent in the world right now.
I agree.
It just so happens that they're starting up World of Sport back on TV. Oh, well, but let's quickly sign some UK guys.
NXT the fuck out of this thing. And NXT UK starting up World of Sport. WOS Wrestling, as it's been asked to be called, because it's not World of Sport.
Oh.
This is a different thing altogether. It's not World of Sport because it's not World of Sport Wrestling.
WOS stand for?
It is the abbreviation, but it's where it's derived from. Like, Marty Jones genuinely came out and said, just like, can everyone please stop asking me about the ITV reboot, please? It is not World of Sport. I have nothing to do with it.
Why?
So because you ask the producers, but that's not the point we're on about. Is the idea is that he's just killing off this thing, and it's like, and it's not good for competition.
No, because
it's not.
It's the last big wrestling boom.
Yeah, it was, and there's been nothing close to it.
No.
Since the closest thing in close memory I can think is the British wrestling resurgence.
Yeah.
But that's only in this country that we've.
That's even then. That's nowhere.
And even then, that is,
like
we're only now at a point
to...
where two companies this year will run massive seater venues, and that's for one show a year.
Mind you, Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
Sold out.
This is. I was going to bring this up on another podcast, but All In. What do you make of All In?
I think it's just
All In's one thing. That's.
I say with All In, I think that was just a really good idea, and then no one was really expecting the success it turned out to be.
And then there's the Super Show. Was it the
G1 Supercard? Just stick G1 in front of it. It's like the greatest Royal Rumble, the greatest whatever's going on in Melbourne. Just stick G1 in front of it.
That could, and it's taking place WrestleMania weekend as well in New York, but it's like you were saying that Will was saying you were gutted that this is like the end of Vince Senior's empire, isn't it?
It is a bit, yeah. But
MSG.
The more I think about it, I think this whole MSG thing, I think it's because it's going to be a one-off. I don't think they'll be able to do this time and time again, because this is the main selling point for this whole MSG thing is it's Ring of Honor running Madison Square Garden
And New Japan.
That's the selling point of it. It's not the fact that it's worth going. It might not be worth going to see for them, but the fact that it's. Does that make sense? Like the fact
a little
that
bit. It's the first time
the venue
a
that's selling it rather than the event that's selling it.
Yeah, if they'd have put this on at the Barclays Centre, there wouldn't be nearly as much buzz.
Exactly, and they could try it. I don't know where WrestleMania is next year, but they could try running another show in that same area and might sell it. Did they run another show next year in Madison Square Garden when WrestleMania is somewhere else in the country? Not all the fans are going to be in New York, so they're going to be. You're not.
It's definitely done as a "we're still here, fuck you, stop buying our talent" type deal, innit?
Especially when they originally quashed it. They're like, no, you can't run Madison Square Garden.
Well, the Madison Square Garden is basically tired of
them running the Barclays.
So they reached out to other companies and gone put some dates in if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sick of this bullshit.
Yeah, because Ring of Honor.
So it's coming. It's their own.
WWE's own.
It's their own comeuppance.
Yeah.
Apparently, Ring of Honor
go coming to bite them in the ass.
Ring of Honor booked Madison Square Garden. WWE got in contact and were like, we have a thing here. They're like, oh yeah, sorry about that. Got rid, said Ring of Honor can't run it, and Ring of Honor was like, well, what's your reasoning? They're like, well, WWE said we can't. Like, that's not a reason. If that's what you're going for, we'll take you to court. And then like, oh, actually we are free that Saturday. We'll put you back in.
Yeah.
It's pretty big. Actually, on that subject, one of my historic moments is Omega and Okada get 6. I think this is huge because it was the first time Dave Meltzer had broken his own rankings. Not that Dave Meltzer's word is amazing, but
he'd had one of a 6-star match in the 90s. It was All Japan. It was a long time ago.
All right, well, it was the first time in a while. That
this is where we have the internet and everyone can find out.
Yeah, exactly. It absolutely blew up, and everyone was like, "You have to see," and everyone was like, "You have to see this match. You have to see this match." And more eyes were getting put onto New Japan because this was the match that probably turned our heads, wasn't it, to go and watch New Japan, and. Ever since then, and I think this is in the same way that the curtain call was a catalyst for this boom. This that 6-star match, I think, is going to be the catalyst to launch New Japan off to this new height. This has started this revolution that they're on. This year they hosted for the first time ever. New Japan hosted their own 2 shows in the UK, single run without any other promotion. They had a bit of help from Rev Pro, but it was billed as a New Japan match, as a New Japan card, which it was. And they've started running more and more shows in America, and now they're doing this super show with Ring of Honor, who are the closest, and they've always had a good relationship going on. So
TNA are trying to jump on the.
Oh, can we join them?
Hey Okada, remember you was like the TNA?
Fuck TNA. So I just think that this is this whole thing is just going to be who knows. I mean, it's very early doors to say that this is going to be the downfall of WWE, blah blah blah, which is, it may very well not be, but it could very well be the catalyst to finally have some good competition in there. And I think the people who work for New Japan, like Cody, like Okada and Omega, and the Bucks and Mike Skrull, just to name a few, they know it's not WWE's not the be all end all anymore. It really isn't. Like, as long as you're being happy.
The fact that they even get when WWE post matches or when they do them little weird little segment shows, sometimes you get a few of them that do the little segment shows. The fact that they don't pull as many views. The last episode of Being the Elite got uploaded to YouTube. Within a day, it had 171,000 views. Like a 30-minute episode, or however long it was. And I was just thinking, WWE don't even pull that many figures when they post matches.
No.
Match from last night. That has not had that many numbers at that point.
Yeah, exactly. It's just I think it's also a backlash against WWE's, and it's people sort of realising that they don't have to stick to WWE anymore. Like, I put these thoughts in on an article that I didn't release, but it's like, WWE is now for the kids.
It always was.
Well, apart from the Attitude Era, but this is what I mean. Like,
it was for the kids of the 90s, though. That's what the kids of the 90s were watching.
But now those kids are now at a certain age where they don't, where that, and the product has changed. So from the Attitude Era to now, but not even just that there's no blood or anything like that, and there's no swearing or anything like that anymore, but the actual wrestling isn't as good, and people genuinely want to see the wrestling and are more involved in being told an amazing story through wrestling, not so much through segments and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, segments and all that stuff can really help, and really, but a lot of more shows and a lot more indie shows do their storytelling through in-ring action now, and a lot more technical based, a lot more high-flying stuff. And WWE as well stick to the same formula, almost stick to the same formula for all their matches. And I think people are slowly just starting to cotton onto this, that I don't have to watch this anymore. I was having this argument on 3 Man Booth, which is another one of our podcasts. That we will go back time and time again because we're hooked, because they know we're hooked, they know they've got our thing, and it's if you've got an you can kick an addiction, you know what I mean? That's the we're all we're all it's our passion in a way. So we're not so much addicted as it is a passion, but I just think that we can, the more and more people just start to realise that WWE isn't gospel anymore, and it never really was, apart from maybe in the in the Attitude Era where it was king and it was on top. But I just think that nowadays, and that 6-star match kicked it all off.
just slowly becoming more, match quality is becoming more and more important slowly.
Yeah.
And like we can't take Meltzer's word for like as gospel.
No.
But if his 5-star matches are a good basis to compare things. It's like WWE have had what, 1 5-star, not including
main
not
roster.
including NXT because they're smashing it.
Yeah.
Like they've had 1 5-star match in like the last 7 years. We've just finished
Who
the
was it?
CM Punk
CM
and John
Punk,
Cena,
Cena.
Money in the Bank.
Oh.
We've just finished the G1, and in a 4-week period there was what, 6, 7 5-star matches, including a 5.5.
Have you come up with the for the last 2 as well?
Might have done. I
The
can look
finals. I'll have a look at that.
But yeah, that's the kind of thing where match quality is becoming more and more important, and
Absolutely.
WWE not recognising that. NXT are.
NXT are smashing it. Willow.
Okay.
Hang on.
So, like, my whole original point with WCW being both and killing off competition is I think it kills people's star power as well, and I think that's what turns off the casual fan. Take someone like one of my brothers, for example, who now can't stand wrestling but adores someone like Stone Cold. You don't really have those big people nowadays.
No.
Moxie, Mankind, just
No,
Stone
I
Cold.
would-
It's all very
say-
sterile. It's all very sterile now. It's
Yeah.
all very overproduced. and-
I'd say Brock Lesnar comes close to that for a casual
Yeah.
because he's big in thingy,
In
but then
UFC.
for has he brought them out for the finals as well? I
See,
see, I was
I
on
think-
that and they just left it blank.
I think at the moment, Kenny Omega's
I knew
the
it
one
would.
with the star power.
Yeah.
2 5.5 matches.
Kenny Omega just got.
Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi got 5.5.
I think at this moment in time with the
I didn't think it was that good.
No, I didn't.
alter promotions, I think
It's
Kenny
good though.
Omega is the
He's the
star
guy.
pa-
He's
is
the
the
guy.
star power at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if he got signed, it'd be like oh my
Same sort of thing as when
fucking
AJ got
God.
signed. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd even
agree.
go as far, and I'm not just saying this because I'm the world's biggest marks for them, the Young Bucks. Also prime example.
Yeah, but are
They're really the only people.
they're stars to wrestling fans.
Well, Okada as well.
They're not
If he
stars
Yeah.
to...
signed.
Okada.
Yeah, but
Jesus
that,
Lord.
my point is that they're not stars to, you know, your
Casual
average guy,
people.
yeah, your average guy in the street.
Yeah.
Like, look at
The average
Ronda.
guy in the
I don't know,
street
'cause-
watches WWE because they know what it is.
I don't know though, because
They know-
my
they
dad
know
don't
the
like
wrestling.
wrestling, and I showed him the Young Bucks, and he was like, "Whoa!"
I showed
He
a
was
couple
like,
of mates.
They are boss.
I showed a couple of mates what Will Ospreay was doing in the ring, and they were like, "How the fuck is he doing that? That's insane. That's really cool."
Yeah.
And it's
I
like,
get what you're saying.
yeah, but look at it in 2 ways. WWE, when they signed Ronda, how many wrestling fans, genuine hardcore wrestling fans, were excited about that? Because everyone instantly just went, "Oh, she's not going to be like a proper wrestler. They're just going to push her. She's just going to be their thingy." Which, and at the time of recording, she's had a couple of good matches and has been better than we thought she could have been. She's not the best yet. She's been better than we thought she may have been. But consider that to how wrestling fans would react, say, if Kenny Omega got signed. Like the internet wrestling community would blow up. That would be unbelievable news. However, with someone but with the signing of Ronda Rousey, everyone was a bit like, "Oh, okay." But the casuals would have been like, "Whoa, that's really cool. She's been in UFC."
It's like when Shinsuke
Too
was
hard.
signed in NXT. Most people, including me, were like, "Never heard of him." Whereas
But
New Japan,
hardcore guys were
I think
like,
Vader used to wrestle there, and
yeah,
then
but it's like but as I say, it's not something now that people talk about in work,
"Yeah,
no.
in casual. Like if Kenny Omega got signed to WWE, you'll be sat in the office going, "Oh, I heard about him getting signed." I go, "What the fuck are you on about, mate?"
yeah,
Yeah.
Whereas if like
Isn't that fake shit?"
yeah,
You know.
but back in the day, it was cool. Everyone loved it, and like since the attitude era's died out, it's not what it once was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Willow, if you got a historic moment.
I do.
Okay.
WrestleMania 1. Can't talk
Ah.
about historic moments
okay.
without talking about WrestleMania 1, can you?
Yeah, true.
That was, talking about the mainstream,
Yeah.
that was the event that brought wrestling into the mainstream in the 80s. But to talk about it, I think you've got to look just a bit before that. So like you had like the Water to Get a Score in particular was like a big thing because that was on MTV, which was also a big popular thing in the 80s. So you had like the main event was Piper versus Hogan, but you had people like that introduced like Cyndi Lauper, Mr. T, even Danny DeVito was there apparently.
Amazing.
Which I just find hilarious, thinking of like Frank Reynolds, like Trash Man. That's where he got Trash Man from.
Yes.
But yeah, obviously that was the. I bring garbage to the ring and I eat it.
Go watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia, folks. It's brilliant.
You've ruined my train of thought. I can't remember what I was going to say now.
WrestleMania 1. Danny DeVito, WrestleMania.
No one wants to see an old man eat trash.
But yeah, it was just a huge moment. I think that was like the most important thing in wrestling at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't
What
think...
it produces nowadays as well, even the people like us, we still watch WrestleMania.
And I think even like...
And they make it bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah, and I think even like people who...
Longer and
I know a lot of guys in wrestling who don't particularly watch WWE religiously anymore, but will always make sure that they're free and will be watching WrestleMania. It's just one of those events that you have to watch.
It's like the Super Bowl now, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Or like the World Cup final.
It's the wrestling equivalent, isn't it? Just no matter what fan base you support in wrestling, you're always going to watch WrestleMania. And it's, especially for moments like when the Hardy Boys came back last year. Like, that was probably the coolest WrestleMania moment there's been in a long time.
It's like the Super Bowl, because I know people who aren't even wrestling fans, but they'll watch WrestleMania. And like when Shane fell off the cell a few years ago,
Yeah.
people on Facebook were sharing that you know have zero interest in wrestling. It's like, man's an idiot and falls off cage.
This is really funny. This is really cool. Yeah.
People, going back a little bit further, this is, I feel like we're going on and on bashing WWE, but the reason that people tune into WrestleMania now, a big part of it is to see the old timers.
Yeah.
It's to see things like Shane McMahon in a match again and the Hardy Bucks.
Hey!
Alex, that's like Alex's wet dream.
The Hardy Boys come back. But it is still a big, it's still to this day a huge thing, and it wouldn't have all happened without WrestleMania 1, which was like the big thing to bring celebrities into wrestling and all that.
Every year you hold out hope that Hogan's going to return.
Every year, every waking day. I wake up in the morning and just have flash in my Hulk Hogan pyjamas.
You
Puts on his feather boa every morning.
We're on PWG going, that's in California, he might show up.
Comes out, challenges Walter for the belt. Amazing. I'd pay to see that match, to be fair.
I would actually be excited about Hogan versus Walter.
Just chops Hogan into dust.
Get it booked. I'll just say one more because we've gone on long enough. Everyone else has said their one, haven't they?
Yeah.
So I'll just say one more.
Of course, Kieran's got to do two.
Because you have one, we've got a takeaway waiting, and I want to go see Christopher Robin tonight.
So my one more, which I'll do it on this one instead. Because we've already mentioned the breaking of kayfabe and that. So I was going to mention the pipe bomb. But what I'm actually going to mention instead is the forming of the NWO, because
that's nice. Good night.
Because you listened to
I've been your host, Kieran.
See you next week on Few Good Mugs.
Can I get my chips now? They'll be freezing.
Alright, well, since obviously no one wishes to continue, thanks for listening, folks. We've been a few good marks.
Do you want some salt on
We'll
your chips?
see you next time. The next time we're going to be on is
why would we talk about the NWO? They're only like the third best.
I know.
Of all time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they won on our top 10.
They are the first now.
No, they won. They won number one, was they?
I think they were.
They were, because you didn't listen. You weren't listening, and then decided, no, I want Edgy Christian. We're like, no, pick between Legion of Doom and NWO, and you chose
Still
NWO.
can't believe we went with
I still got maybe Steamboat isn't in our top 10.
I still get Sting and Rocket.
Right, this is a few good marks. We're not getting into this again.
Steamboat not in our top 10.
Ah!
Fuck no!
Some people have outvoted him.
Historic moments in wrestling. A few good marks. Don't put Ricky the Giant Steamboat on.
Steamboat didn't beat The
It
Rock.
was Steamboat or Sting. Me and
The Rock
you
and
chose
Sting
Steamboat.
debate
Everyone
is
else had
historic
Sting,
moments
and
in
it
itself.
led to the Rock Sting incident.
Steamboat's better than The
Friggin',
Rock.
I would agree.
Can we just? We'll see you later, folks.
Can we redo our top 10 podcast? Oh my god, get
You know what? Fuck it. Like 2 weeks that when we're doing what's the name, we're gonna redo our top 10 list. Go fuck yourselves. We'll see you then, folks. In a bit. Bye.